Friday, November 2nd, 2018, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. This morning I'm going to look at the major moves we saw yesterday in the dollar index, in the dollar yuan, and the precious metals, especially gold. There were reasons given by commentators why the dollar moved so much, why the British pound moved a lot as well. Yeah, the British pound moved as much as gold. So for people in the UK, the price of gold actually didn't move that much. If anything, it went down slightly. Am I concerned about that? No, I think the move in the pound higher in the last few days is a bit overdone and is betting on too much as far as Brexit is concerned. And even if something comes out before November 21st, I think it's going to be a little bit the case of buy the rumor, sell the fact for the pound. Of course, today, later on at 8:30 New York time, 8:30 a.m., we're going to get the non-farm payroll or jobs data for October. Of course, it's a hypothetical number. It's a manufactured number, but it could have a big impact on the markets. So right now it's just about 8:30 a.m. London. I'm going to look at what the markets are doing. I will also look a little bit, I just show you some of the charts of the stock market here and tell you what I think. I'm sure a lot of people think the correction's over and we're going to go make new highs, but I'm not too sure. So right now, spot gold is at $12.35. It's up about $2. The range has been $12.31 to $12.36. Silver is up 3 cents at $14.77. Range has been $14.64 to $14.81. The Dow stock markets are still strong, and the future right now is up almost 1% or 229 points, 25,606. I'll quickly show you a chart here of the Dow. So it has rebounded very well. I guess the next key level is going to be the high on the 17th of October, which is around 25,862. Am I convinced that this is over now? No. I think we're going to have another big drop sometime soon. I can't tell you when, but maybe in the next week or two in the Dow. What about the S&P this morning? Well, we're up 23 or 0.85%, 2762. And I'll quickly show you an S&P chart as well. You see S&P, the 50 days, even crossed the 100 days, so does not look very good at all. In a bull market, you want to see the 50 above the 100, the 100 above the 200, which it still is here, but that's not good. And we're still below the 200-day moving average and pretty far away from the high of the 17th of October, which is around 28.20. So not out of the woods yet there, S&P either. What about Nasdaq this morning? It's Nasdaq 100 is up 47 at 71.13. Quickly look at that as well. Yeah, we're just getting back to the 200-day. As you can see, end of 50-day moving average. That's comfortably crossed through the 100-day. So again, not too convinced about this. This looks to me like a short covering rally. It's not really people buying, outright buying. So this could end quite soon. What about the currencies this morning? The pound is still fairly strong. It's up 23 pips at 130.31. The euro is at 114.37, also up 0.25%. Euro did well yesterday as well. It was up about 0.75%. Didn't do as well as the pound. And the dollar yen has been fairly quiet. All the move has been in like cable, euro, and the yuan. Dollar yen this morning up 0.17% at 112.90. Dollar yuan this morning. The dollar continues to drop against the yuan. It's down 0.5% at 688. I mean, recently we were almost at 7. It was at around 697. And I'll look at these charts in a minute. Dollar index, dollar yuan, gold. Oil continued to drop actually. WTI is 63.40 now, down 0.6%. Brent is down 30 or 0.4%, 72.60. The sanctions on Iran, I think they come into effect very soon this month. I'm not sure exactly the date. But that again might be a buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of thing. You know, we have been recently, oil price had been very strong. Looking forward to that. So who knows? What about the bond market? 10-year yield this morning is up 4 basis points at 317. So now I want to look at the dollar index, because it looks like we've made a massive, well, not massive, but we've made what looks like a significant double top. And I've got a chart going back to July 2017 of the dollar index. You need to note that in the dollar index, the major currency there is the euro. It's almost 2/3 of the index. And then you've got the Japanese yen, you got the British pound, the Swiss franc, Swedish krona. The Chinese yuan is not part of the dollar index. But you can see that yesterday was a massive day. I mean, we'd made a recent high here just on the 31st of October at 97.20. The high on the 15th of August had been 96.98. So that was the same day that gold made the bottom, if you remember, at 1160. So it's interesting that it looks like we've made another major top in the dollar index on the 31st of October. So right now we're still down today again, 0.25% at 96.12. So what would be the next key level to keep an eye on? Well, it's still very far away, but just below 94 there, the low from the 21st of September, which is around 93.81. That would be a midpoint of the double top. And if we break that, the dollar could drop probably towards 91. So it's still far away from that. But so that's the dollar index. Now let's have a look at the dollar yuan. A lot of people are saying that President Trump and President Xi, they're going to meet, of course, apparently later this month, and they had good talks recently about trade. And the interesting thing about this chart is that if you look from January 2017, which is pretty much the time when Trump, took over the administration, the dollar dropped from almost 7 down to like 6.25 against the yuan. And in spite of that, Trump has been very hawkish and very combative, or belligerent about trade and the the exchange rate. They've recently even talked about China being a currency manipulator, and I know that eventually the Treasury came out and said no, the Chinese are not manipulating the currency. But you can see that since the beginning of this year, around the spring, the Chinese have let their currency drop, and it coincided with all the belligerent talk by Trump and all the action in trade. And what this tells me here is that the Americans and the Chinese might have come to an agreement that we don't even know about, and the Chinese have said, okay, we've got what we wanted, so we'll let our currency drop. increase again or strengthen again, because if this drops, it means the dollar is getting weaker and the yuan is getting stronger. But you can see we've got a massive double top. It's not the same time frame as the dollar index. So the top is from January 2017, 696, and recently the top was at just below 698. So yeah, it looks like the dollar index and the dollar yuan have put major tops, and that could be positive, of course, for the precious metals, which we'll look at now. First of all, I want to show you this chart. It's from the low in December 2015, and I've been talking about a key level around 1212, even before during the summer, that we had to hold that because it was the 50% retracement level of the low in December 2015 and the high from July 2016, which has still been the high since December 2015. And there's some other commentators looking at that roughly around that level. Mine is just below 1211. Some people are talking about 1212. And you can see that when we broke that level definitively in August, how it dumped. And we made that low at 1161 on the 15th of August. And then we've been going up since. And recently, we'd broken through that level, that 1211, 1212 in the beginning of October, and we had a massive move up in gold. Then we consolidated, and this week we had a couple of days ago, gold came down quite sharply, and the low that day, it was on the 31st of October. Yeah, that low was 1212. Quite amazing. So we bounced right off that level, which has now become support. And I didn't expect the huge move we saw yesterday. It was a huge move. The high yesterday was like 1238 almost, from a low of around 1214. So we made a massive move in gold yesterday. So right now, I think 1236, which is the low from the 12th of December last year, and also the recent high around 1243. These are the key levels now that we need to break on the upside to confirm this. I'd like to show you another chart that I find is very interesting, and it's a spot gold chart, monthly, very long-term chart, going back 20 years. And you can see how we are forming a massive bull flag here in gold. It's a longer term thing, and you can see that the recent drop to 1161 was actually almost retested the top of the flag, which we've broken out of, and it's looking pretty good, this monthly chart, I would say. We are waiting now for non-farm payroll later on this morning in the US, afternoon for the UK. The numbers coming out at 12:30 for the UK, not 1:30. And so if you enjoyed this video, please like, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also follow me on Steemit, DTube, and on Twitter. I wish you all a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.